My beloved child, in the unwavering love of your Father, I come to you today not with thunder or fear, but with a tender whisper, a gentle warning that flows not from judgment but from mercy, spoken not to instill dread but to awaken your heart, to preserve your soul, and to guide you into the shelter of my presence. My child, there are dangers drawing near, threats your eyes cannot see, dark clouds gathering in silence above the land where you dwell. These are not mere coincidences, not accidents of fate. I, the one who sees all and knows every step before it is taken, have drawn near to you in this very moment to issue a loving yet urgent call from the depths of my heart. I am striving to intercept a coming evil, yet, my dear child, that intervention cannot be completed without your cooperation. I will not force myself upon you. I long for your willing heart, your trusting faith, your obedience rooted not in fear but in love and surrender to your Father. You are unaware of how closely your soul is surrounded by invisible threats. There are spiritual forces stalking you, lurking shadows waiting for a single crack to slip into your life. They do not always show themselves openly, but their influence weaves through your thoughts, your emotions, the very air you breathe each day. There are nameless sorrows, unexplained fatigue, temptations that seem harmless yet slowly draw you away from me. Have you noticed moments when your heart trembles for no reason? Days when the light in your mind dims, as if veiled by something unseen. These are not just moods, they are signs of a spiritual battle raging around you, even if you do not recognize it. And so, my child, you can no longer afford to be passive. You must act now. You must listen to me. You must cling to my word as one clings to the only unshakable pillar in the midst of a storm. There is a dark spirit hovering near the place where you live, not a myth or legend, but a serious spiritual reality. It does not appear in the form you expect, but it manifests through toxic relationships, deceptive reasoning, and subtle events designed to erode your faith and plunge you into confusion and doubt. I see it all. I see every scheme. And because my love for you is too great to remain silent, I have sent this message to you as a letter from heaven, a trumpet of warning wrapped in mercy. I have not come to condemn you, but to stir you, to awaken you, that you may rise up, turn back, and run into the arms of the one who alone can shield your soul from the hidden claws that weave themselves into the fabric of your daily life. My beloved, this is not the hour for hesitation. Every moment you delay is another moment the enemy uses to tighten its grip. But if you choose to listen, if you choose to trust in me, then even in a land blanketed by darkness, I will build a fortress of light for you. I will show you the way out, the place of safety. I will reveal the enemy's schemes and equip you with strategies from heaven, not to make you afraid, but so you may know that you are never alone, and that each step you take is guided by a loving hand. Listen closely, child, not with your outer ears, but with a heart humbled and a spirit open. I do not merely want to rescue you from this one danger. I want to teach you how to live with discernment, with vigilance, and in deep communion with me, where no weapon formed against you can prosper. I want to bring you into a new way of living where my presence is not just something you feel when you pray, but the very reality you carry with you each moment of the day. For you are a child of the light, born to overcome, not to cower before the shadows. And if you choose to walk in that light, darkness will not overcome you. I await your response, not because I am unsure, but because I honor your free will. Will you listen, my child? Will you obey, not out of fear, but because you believe I am the one who loves you more than anyone ever could and who always acts for your good? If you walk with me today, you will witness the miraculous. Not because you are perfect, but because I love you. Not because you are strong, but because I am your strength. Not because you know the way, but because I do, and I will never let you walk alone. So, my beloved, hear my voice and walk in. My light, for it is the only path that leads to true peace and divine protection. My dear child, listen to my voice in this moment, as if it were a sacred river flowing through the desert of your soul. I speak to you not through the lens of how people see you, but as the one who sees every layer of your being, every motive, every hidden crack you may not even know exists. I see the entirety of your life, from your innocent beginnings to your weary moments in the midst of this inner war. I see even what has not yet come to pass. I see behind the veil of visible reality where a trap is being skillfully laid, targeting your mind and soul with cunning precision. I do not reveal this to frighten you, but to awaken you, for I love you and cannot stay silent as you draw near to the edge of deception. The enemy never comes with its true face. It weaves seemingly logical circumstances, harmless stories, and lingering disappointments that whisper to your heart that shutting down is the safest option. Have you ever told yourself, perhaps I should stay silent, withdraw, and close my heart to avoid further pain? That is the very first thread the enemy weaves into your thoughts. It does not lie blatantly. It murmurs reasons, images, painful memories that make you believe doubt is the only truth you can trust, that faith is a luxury for times of peace. But my child, the truth is, the more you retreat, the easier it is for you to be isolated from the community I've given you. The more you close your heart, the more you cut off the flow of life I long to pour into you. That is the enemy's goal, not just to sadden you, but to starve your faith, your hope, and your capacity to love and receive love. It will not roar, it will whisper through familiar voices, even those you trust. Not because they mean harm, but because they are unaware of the spiritual dimension at work. It may come through seemingly wise advice that causes you to doubt what I have placed in your heart. It may use past failures to convince you that your future will only repeat pain. And if you do not guard your heart, if you do not stop to let me cleanse what you are believing, you will eventually embrace deception rather than my truth. Therefore, my child, learn to guard your heart like a watchman over sacred treasure. Your heart is not merely the seat of emotion, it is the wellspring from which every decision, every action, every path in your life flows. Scripture says, above all else, guard your heart, for from it flow the springs of life. You cannot let the arrows of deception pierce it and drain the faith you once held. You must choose to believe, not because everything is clear, but because I am the one who never changes. Let me be your fortress, your shepherd, your eyes to see truth beyond the traps disguised in worldly wisdom. My beloved, do not let your present circumstances drown out the eternal call within. Do not let the voice of fear grow louder than mine. Do not let old wounds define who you are. You are not the result of abandonment, failure, or misunderstanding. You are my child, created in love, covered by grace, and called to live with a heart that remains tender, not shut. Every time you choose to forgive, to open your heart, to love, to obey, you are tearing down the enemy's snare. And I rejoice every time you do, for you are moving closer to the fullness of purpose I have destined for you. So, my child, do not let the battles in your mind imprison you. Rise up with the awareness that you are never alone. I am fighting for you. I am speaking to you. I am shielding you from what you have not yet seen. Do not shut your heart, open it, that I may enter more fully. For where I am, there is light, and where there is light, darkness cannot remain. Be brave, step out of the shadows of doubt, and into the radiance of faith, where I await you with open arms and a steadfast heart. I love you, and I will never stop fighting for you as long as your heart stays open to walk with me. So, my child, you must not only guard your heart, but also guard your mind, the place where every thought is born, where every emotion arises, where every decision is conceived before it ever becomes an action. You must learn to discern the source of each thought. Is it from me, from the world, or from the enemy? Do not naively accept everything that enters your mind. Do not let your mind become an open gate, welcoming winds from all directions. For what you allow in will sooner or later shape your character, what you believe, what you do, and who you become. Be careful what you look at, for your eyes are the windows to your spirit. The images you choose to behold will be etched into your memory and influence the purity of your heart. Even a fleeting glance can become a chain that pulls you away from me if you are not watchful. Be careful what you listen to, for sound does not stop at your ears, it enters your mind and echoes through your soul. Songs that seem harmless or meant for entertainment can plant seeds of fear, lust, despair, or rebellion, things that do not come from me. Be careful what you meditate on, for your thoughts are the seeds of your actions, and your actions shape your habits, and your habits form your destiny. Do not assume the shows you watch, the music you consume, or the content you engage with online are harmless. Many of them are disguised in charm and humor, in catchy rhythms, but within them lie toxic seeds. They teach you that chaos is normal, that mocking what is sacred is entertainment, that lust is to be pursued, that rebellion is a sign of personality. But my child, all of these are traps wrapped in beauty like sweet poison, like colored lights in a dark cave. When you entertain these things, you are not merely filling time, you are permitting a foreign force to enter the holy ground of your soul, which I created for glory. Do not trade the peace of your soul for a few moments of fleeting excitement. Do not sacrifice spiritual purity in pursuit of what the world calls personal freedom. I am not denying you joy. I am the source of true joy. I do not take away your delight. I offer you satisfaction that surpasses all temporary pleasures. But you can only experience this when you learn to discern, to decline, and to set boundaries. You cannot expect a dusty mind to produce clean thoughts. You cannot expect a soul surrounded by confusion to hear the voice of the Father clearly. Cleanse the entrance to your mind by choosing what is good, what is beautiful, what brings life. Fix your eyes on what uplifts you, what ignites your faith, what reminds you of truth. Listen to songs that celebrate life, holiness, and love. Read what draws you closer to me. Meditate on Scripture not as a ritual, but as a spring that refreshes your soul daily. When your mind is filled with truth, you will recognize lies more easily. When your mind is saturated with my presence, you will no longer be shaken by every wind of emotion or trend. My child, in a world that is pushing moral boundaries into the shadows, I am calling you to walk in the light. Do not compromise with darkness, not even a little. Do not allow anything to steal the sacred innocence I have preserved for you. Your mind is precious, for it is where I desire to meet you, speak to you, and reveal the mysteries of the kingdom. So guard it like a treasure more valuable than gold. Place your thoughts under the authority of the Holy Spirit, so that every thought is examined, every idea illuminated, and every decision flows from my wisdom. I love you too much to be silent while you are being attacked in subtle ways. I speak to you today, not to scold but to protect, not to limit you but to set you free from sweet yet destructive entanglements. You are not called to live as the world lives, but to be a light within it. And that light begins with a guarded mind, a soul that chooses rightly, and a heart wholly turned toward the Father. So rise up, my child, and step into freedom by defending the very place the enemy seeks to seize first, your mind. My beloved child, there is nothing in you that is hidden from my eyes. I have seen the tears you've shed in the silent hours of the night when no one was near and no one understood the storm raging within your soul. I know the wounds you try to hide, the memories you fear, to voice the quiet fears that cling like shadows to your thoughts day after day. Not a single sigh of yours is meaningless to me. I have heard every anxious heartbeat and every moment you felt lost in this world. I was there silently, steadfastly, never leaving your side. You have no idea how many times death came near, but not once could it touch you without my permission. I stood between you and it. I intercepted, I intervened in moments you thought you wouldn't make it. The accidents, you narrowly escaped the decisions that nearly derailed your life, the nights you gave up and thought there was no way out. You thought it was luck, but it was my hand shielding you. You thought it was coincidence, but I call it divine protection. From your first cry to the breath you draw, this very moment I have never left you. I have covered you like an invisible shield, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. And my love for you is not measured by your performance, but by my constant presence in your life. The world may see you as ordinary among many, but in my eyes you are a precious jewel I have chosen, preserved, and loved at the cost of my own son's blood. You are not the product of randomness, not the forgotten one, nor meaningless in the chaos of existence. You were formed with purpose, breathing the air of grace, living under the shelter of everlasting love that no one can steal from you. Because you belong to me, you become the target that darkness longs to destroy. The enemy does not go after what is worthless. It only attacks what is valuable, what carries influence, what bears my light. And you, my child, are one of those. But do not fear, for you are not fighting alone. Every time you are attacked, I knew beforehand. Every time a lie was planted in your heart, I prepared a truth to counter it. Every time a wound threatened to crush you, I had already designed it to become a testimony of healing. Because you are mine, you are also covered in my protective power, not a fragile shield, but the guarding of the Creator himself. Not just a presence when you pray, but my unceasing companionship through every step, every breath, every decision. Do not let failure make you forget the preservation you've already received. Do not let criticism make you forget the value I've placed in you. Do not let darkness make you feel alone. You are not alone. Even when you feel nothing, I am working. Even when you don't hear me, I am speaking in the silence. And even when you forget who you are, I remember every word I have promised, every plan I have made for you. You are mine. This is a truth no one can undo. And if you are mine, then no power, no circumstance, no mistake can separate you from my love and keeping. So lift your head, my child. Let your heart be comforted. Remember the times I kept you from the edge, the times you thought all hope was gone, but light broke through. That was not chance. That was me. I have always been there, and I still am. Not as a distant God, but as a father gripping your hand in the storm. You are the one I have chosen, and when I place my mark upon you, nothing can erase it. You are not a wound. You are a restored warrior. You are not a failure. You are a testimony of grace, and you are not merely a survivor. You are the one chosen to live fully, to walk in light, and to bring hope to others who carry wounds like yours. So, my beloved child, walk boldly. For even if you journey into the deepest darkness, I will be there. And if you turn around, you will see that I have never left. I am the one who was there from the beginning, and I will be the one who is with you to the very end. My beloved child, I am speaking to you from the depths of love and truth, from the heart of the one who formed you not to live in confusion, but to walk in light, wisdom, and glory. Do not let your heart be drawn to the murky voices and half-truths the world preaches. Do not seek guidance from mediums, tarot cards, crystals, or horoscopes that seem harmless, but are the disguised snares of darkness. They present themselves as enlightenment, as answers to your questions about identity and future. But false light will only lead you astray. Mixed truth only deepens your confusion. What is not from me will never bring true peace to your soul. You must understand that everything you open your heart to, even a game, even idle curiosity, can become a doorway for unclean forces to enter. They don't barge in openly. They wear the mask of intrigue, mystery, the promise of self-discovery, love, destiny. But in truth, they rob you of innocence, plant fear, distort faith, and replace divine guidance with a web of lies and dependency. You do not need any mediator but me. You need no tool but my word. You need no light but the true light who came into the world, who is me, the one always with you, the giver of life, truth, and the perfect way. I do not share my glory with another, not because I am selfish, but because I love you too much to let you drink from polluted wells. I want you to be filled with true life, true words, and the true source. Prophecies from stones, cards, or zodiac signs will never reveal the truth of your life. Only the one who created you knows the reason for your design. Only the Father knows each day of your life before one of them came to be. And only I can lead you through the hardest years with peace that no one can steal. You were not born in this generation by accident. You are not the byproduct of a chaotic world. You were chosen with a divine purpose, with a clear calling, and with a sacred responsibility I have etched into your soul. And when I chose you, I also gave you protection from heaven. Not every unclean spirit can touch you, my child. They may lurk, circle, scream at the door, but if you are in me, if your heart holds holiness, they have no place. But if you open the door even a crack through curiosity, through the desire to know the future, through chasing cosmic connections, then you are granting them access. This is not the time to experiment. This is the time to discern, to awaken, and to stand firm. The days are growing darker, truth is being twisted, hearts are growing cold, and chaos is creeping into every part of life. But the light I placed in you will never be extinguished. In fact, in darkness it will shine even brighter if you guard it with faith, with worship, and with devotion to truth. You are chosen not just to stand, but to shine. Chosen not just to survive, but to fight in love, in wisdom, and in the authority I give. You are not weak in this spiritual battlefield. You are a bearer of light, a messenger of life, a temple of my spirit. So, my child, shut every door that leads to confusion. Be decisive against anything that seems spiritual but is not of the Holy Spirit. Let my word be your compass, let my spirit be your only guide. Let your heart be a resting place for me, and your mind fertile soil for seeds of truth. The more you listen to me, the more you will know what is real and what is counterfeit. And when you know the truth will set you free. I love you too much to let you go astray. I will not abandon you in this sea of chaos. I am calling you back into closeness, into real communion with me, not needing outer signs, but only a tender heart and ears that listen. When you keep your heart for me alone, I will speak. When you reject all other voices, you will hear mine clearly. And when you choose me over the glittering things of this world, you will not only be protected, you will be sent to be a voice in a generation that has lost its way. You are a child of the light. Live as the light. And never forget I am enough for you. Forever I am enough. My beloved child, in the moments when the world around you feels shaken, when your heart is confused, and you no longer know where safety can be found, I want you to remember that the comfort you seek is not in any physical location on this earth. It is not a hidden place on a map, not a fixed shelter, not the embrace of any human being, but it is me. I am your true refuge. I am the stronghold that cannot be moved, the secret fortress that surpasses all walls and fences made by human hands. When you run to me, you don't need to bring baggage. You don't need to prepare explanations or prove anything at all. You only need to bring yourself as you are whole, honest, and weary. For I am not seeking perfection to accept, but a sincere heart to embrace. Now I do not speak empty words. I am whispering into your spirit, showing you the path to refuge, not a path taken by physical steps, but by faith. Close your eyes not to escape, but to open your heart to a reality more divine than what you can see with your natural eyes. Let the worries slip away from your mind. Let the noise outside recede into the distance. And in that stillness, begin to talk with me. You don't need eloquence, only sincerity. Tell me the things you've never dared to say to anyone, the pains you've hidden, the questions that remain unanswered. Pour out your heart like a stream yearning for its source, and I promise you this, I will be there. Not merely as a concept or feeling, but as a real, steadfast, loving presence of a father who never abandons his children. My child, there are things your eyes cannot see, but they are more real than this material world. There are heavenly realities surrounding you, and even now I have sent my angels to your home. They are stationed at your doors in the hallways of the place you live, not to invoke fear, but to protect, to guard, and to remind you that you are not alone. What you perceive as emptiness is actually being filled with a power that is invisible but stronger than any earthly force. What you think is silence is in truth the majestic guarding of heaven at work. These angels are not merely symbols in Scripture, they are my servants sent to protect those who belong to me. And you, my child, are marked by me, called by name, and covered by the blood of the Lamb. Do not let silence deceive you into thinking I have withdrawn. Do not let the feeling of loneliness make you doubt my promises. In the moment when you feel weakest, that is when I am lifting you with the greatest strength. In the instant you think everything is closed, that is when I am opening something new. For I am not just the place you run to in danger, I am the place you can dwell forever. A place unmoved by circumstances, unshaken by human change. A sacred, gentle, peaceful place where love is not limited by time or condition, and in that presence you will be restored. Wounds that seemed impossible to heal will be mended by the hand of love. Sobs swallowed deep inside will be heard and soothed. The shattered pieces of your heart will be gathered, reassembled, and made new. I do not merely give you a hiding place from the storm, I give you a place to stand firm within it. And more than all, I give you myself, not just as creator, but as your intimate father, not as a distant mighty one, but as the companion beside you. My beloved, let go of the thought that you must be strong to come to me. Come when you're tired, come when you're weak, come when you have nothing left but tears. For in my presence you will not be judged, you will be embraced. Not despised, but loved. Not cast out, but drawn even closer. This is the true refuge. Not a towering mountain, not a deep forest, not a hidden room, but my very heart ever open for my children to return. So my child, whenever your heart feels unsteady, don't look to the world for answers. Don't run to the noise in hopes of finding peace. Come instead to the deepest part of your soul where I am already waiting. Speak to me. Cry with me. Trust me. And you will see, no matter what happens around you, within you, a stronghold will be raised, because you are in me, and I am in you. You are not alone, never have been, and never will be. My beloved child, if that old thing returns again, whether a familiar temptation, an old fear, a memory that tires you, or a creeping unease in the quiet of night, do not be afraid. Do not let the presence of darkness make you believe you've been defeated. You are not one condemned by the past or by fleeting emotion. You are one who has been covered in heavenly life and power. You are protected by the blood of the Lamb, your name engraved upon the palm of the Eternal One. When darkness tries to return, it has no legal right to dwell in your soul unless you permit it. Rise in the faith I have placed in your heart. Declare boldly, I belong to my Father. I have been redeemed, and you have no place in me. Then, my child, do not linger in the place from which it came. Do not converse with temptation. Do not negotiate with voices of doubt. Turn your back to them and set your gaze upon me. For I am the light, not a flickering flame, but an eternal, unwavering brilliance that never dims in the night. In my presence all darkness flees. In the light I shine, what once terrified you will lose its power. I'm not saying they won't return, but I am saying if you stand in me, they cannot touch you. And each time you choose to look at me, instead of the threat, you render that darkness powerless. Do not delay, my child. Don't wait until everything gets worse before you return. Don't think this feeling is fleeting or this message mere coincidence. This is not a random moment. This is a word spoken straight from my heart, the heart that sees ahead what you cannot yet imagine. I do not speak to instill fear, I speak to preserve you. For your Father is not silent when you face danger. I am the one who speaks before, guides before, protects before. I am the gatekeeper of your soul, but you must choose not to open the door to the enemy. My warning always comes with redemption. If today you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Do not treat it as if tomorrow is guaranteed, for true love always speaks with urgency. And I love you too deeply to remain silent when you're nearing the edge of danger. My child, I discipline those I love. That means when my word touches something in your heart, a habit that must be let go, a relationship to reevaluate, a mindset that needs renewing, do not turn away, do not hide, let my light shine into it. For no correction from me comes without the intent to restore. I correct not to tear you down, but to lift you up. I reveal danger not to shame you, but to free you. True love cannot ignore when the beloved walks in the wrong direction. And I, with eternal love, cannot remain still without intervening. But child protection is always tied to obedience. You cannot demand divine intervention while clinging to the things of darkness. You cannot expect angelic covering while your heart remains open to rebellion. Choose obedience now, not because I need it to love you, but because obedience is the doorway through which my protection flows fully into your life. Don't wait until everything breaks apart to run back. Come when you still hear the call. The quicker you obey, the safer you will be. If today, my beloved, you find yourself standing at a crossroads, light on one side and uncertain gray on the other, know that I am reaching out and calling you toward me. Do not hesitate. Do not think you must be strong. Strength is not in your will, but in your surrender. When you choose me, my light will cover you, not just enough to scatter darkness, but to make you a beacon of hope to others. And that, my child, is why I call you not only to be freed, but to become a vessel of life, light, and hope to this generation. So obey today. Turn away from the lie. Remind the darkness it no longer belongs. Then return to me with all your trust, your longing gaze, and your open heart. I will be there. I have always been there, and I will forever be there to protect, to guide, to heal, and to love you as no one else ever could. For you are mine, and I do not lose what belongs to me. My beloved child, if my only purpose were to remove every difficulty from your path, how then would you ever learn to stand firm? If every day were smooth and free from resistance, how could you come to know the true value of peace? It is in the storms, in the pressing seasons, that my love is revealed in its deepest form. This love does not merely soothe, it teaches. It does not only comfort, it shapes. It does not only embrace, it trains. I did not come to make your life easy. I came to make your life meaningful. And meaning is born when your soul is transformed from within, when your inner being becomes strong, unshaken by favorable circumstances, and unbroken by adversity. I long for you to prosper, but not as the world defines prosperity. The prosperity I desire for you is not about houses filled with possessions or a name applauded by crowds. Those are only temporary shells. I want you to prosper in your soul in the place no one can rob you of. I want your spirit to be nourished by truth, your heart to be refreshed by a joy not bound to external events, and your mind anchored in enduring peace like a steady anchor holding a vessel through the fiercest gale. When you have this, no storm will unseat you for long. You may weep, but you will not be shattered. You may be tested, but you will not be swallowed. For your roots are planted in the unshakable one, and the fruit you bear is the result of a life rooted in unfailing love. My beloved, I do not only desire that your spirit be strong, I long for your hands to be fruitful. I want the work of your hands to flow from the guidance of the Holy Spirit. I want every word you speak, every action you take to reflect the life that comes from me. The prosperity I place in your heart is not meant to be stored away, but to be poured out. Not to elevate yourself, but to lift others. You were not created for aimless wandering, but to live each day with divine purpose. Whether it is caring for a family, building a business, interceding for others, or writing words that inspire, everything you do carries eternal value when you walk in the destiny I have ordained for you. And that destiny, my child, is not some far-off event. It does not wait in tomorrow or hide behind future success. It begins now in your choice to obey, in your resolve to stay pure, in your decision to love, even in small things, and in your perseverance amid uncertainty. Every single day of yours matters. Every breath you take is an opportunity for my light within you to shine forth. You are not a hidden lamp. You are a light set on a hill to shine for others. You are not a forgotten seed. You are a tree rooted in life, preparing to blossom and bear fruit in due season. So when adversity comes, my child, do not quickly assume I am silent. When things become hard to understand, do not believe I have abandoned you. Remember that my love is not only found in comfort, but it also displays its power in difficulty. Let your heart be reminded, true prosperity begins within, from a soul that knows who it belongs to, from a heart that gives thanks even in lack, from a spirit that trusts even when it cannot see the road ahead. I am here, always here, never distant, never absent. I look at you with joy and hope, for I see not just a traveler on the earth, but one who is being led into a journey of eternity. And I, your Father, who loves you with a perfect love, will never stop working on your life until you become the image I have envisioned, strong, rooted, fruitful, and living in a prosperity that nothing in this world can steal. For you are mine, and I will never stop desiring the best for you. My beloved child, perhaps right now you are looking around and wondering why the promises remain unfulfilled, why the blessings seem delayed, why the prosperity you have long awaited has not yet appeared in your current circumstances. But I want you to pause, and instead of seeing through the lens of worry, of limitation, of fear and disappointment, begin to see your life through my eyes, the eyes that see beyond the present, deeper than the surface, and believe in goodness, even when all signs say otherwise. For I never define you by your circumstances. I do not measure your worth by what you possess or lack, nor do I define your future by what the natural eye perceives. I look at you and see a treasure being refined, a seed sprouting quietly, a warrior being formed in stillness. The blessing I have prepared for you does not always burst forth in immediate brilliance. It is not always the instant miracle people often crave. True blessing comes through process, beginning in the unseen, where the eye cannot touch but faith can grasp. Like a seed buried beneath soil, unseen by others, counted as nothing by many, it may appear as silence, as delay, as emptiness. But I see the roots stretching deep. I see the strength accumulating. I see what you do not. For I am the gardener, and I know when your soul needs sun and when it needs rain. Everything in your life is being arranged, not to discourage you, but to prepare you for the day you blossom in glory at heaven's appointed time. My child, trust this process. Trust me. Even when things do not unfold as you hoped, know that I have never abandoned my work in your life. Every season of waiting is not neglect. Every silence is not meaningless. It is the moment when I am doing the deepest work within, removing what hinders building, what strengthens cleansing, what defiles, and making your heart fertile for a great harvest. I do not want to give you something temporary. I desire that the blessing within you flow freely, endure deeply, and impact greatly. But for that to happen, I need you to enter into a more intimate, deeper, and more faithful relationship with me. Only then, when your heart becomes tender with faith and obedience, can my blessing be released fully through you. You must begin to see your life as I see it, not as a string of failures and meaningless delays, but as a divine shaping. When you look through heaven's eyes, you will notice that even in the darkest places, light is flickering. Even in your weariness, strength is being built. Even in your solitude, my presence is closer than ever. Because my eyes are always on you, not from afar, but from near, like a tender gardener watching every pulse of new growth in a precious sprout. I am not inattentive. I am not indifferent. Every day of yours is written in my book. Every whisper of your heart I hear. Every tear you cry I hold dear. And my child, if you could comprehend the heart of your Father, you would know I never withhold good from those who walk uprightly. But that goodness must come at the right time, not as a burden, but as a crown. A blessing is not merely a reward, it is a confirmation that you are living in the flow of divine purpose. And that purpose is not for you alone, but so you may become a vessel of life, bringing light, hope, and healing to a world that is weary from its search. So do not doubt simply because today is quiet. Do not give up because this season bears no fruit yet. Do not despise yourself because others fail to see your value. I have seen, I am still seeing, and I will complete the work I have begun in you. Stand firm, hold tightly to my word. Let your eyes view your life through the lens of trust. And one day when you look back, you will see every seemingly ordinary moment was a hidden miracle unfolding. And you will rejoice because you did not quit, because you believed, because you let me finish the good thing I began. For you are mine, a masterpiece being shaped, a seed stretching upward, a river ready to surge, a light that will not be extinguished. And I, your Father, will continue to walk with you, to teach you, to strengthen you, and to bless you, not because you have done enough, but because you belong. And so you never walk alone. My beloved child, today I want you to pause and hear something deep upon my heart. I long for you to prosper. Not halfway, not superficially, but with a fullness that flows from the depths of your soul. I am not a distant God concerned only with abstract spiritual matters. I am your Father who delights in every detail of your life, who longs for you to be whole-grounded and living the purpose that was written over you before you took your first breath. But my child, to fully grasp my heart, you must learn to see success not through the eyes of the world, but through the loving and wise eyes of your Father. The world will tell you that you are successful when you attain visible things, when you have status, abundance, applause, and recognition. But all of that, though not inherently evil, is only the surface of the iceberg, things that fade, things that change in a blink. I do not measure your success by the spotlight or the cheers of the crowd. I do not evaluate you by numbers or worldly praise. To me, you are successful when you remain faithful, even when no one sees, when you obey me in the quiet places where no one cheers, no one applauds, only you and me. You succeed when you choose what is right, even when wrong is easier. When you embrace righteousness instead of compromise. When you keep your heart pure in a world of deceit. And especially when you lift your hands to worship, not because you feel emotional, but because you know I am worthy, even when your heart is heavy, weary, and still awaiting answers. That is the prosperity I desire for you, the inner wealth where the roots of your soul are planted deep in truth, where spiritual fruit grows even in barren soil, and where you reflect my light not by what you possess, but by how you live, how you love, how you obey. My child, there are those who are rich yet poor in soul. There are those who are famous yet empty inside. There are those admired by the world who feel lost and shattered within. I do not want that for you. I want you to be full from within. I want my peace to dwell in your heart, not the peace that comes from ease, but the peace that surpasses understanding, that stands firm in the storm, that sings when doors are still closed, and that worships even when everything seems to fall apart. That is when your soul blooms in drought. That is when your life becomes a living testimony, not because you never wept, but because you chose to rise and keep walking with me. True prosperity is not a destination. It is a journey walked daily alongside me, your Father. It is when you rise each morning and choose to trust, to love, to forgive, to live righteously, and to keep going even when weary. It is when you lay down bricks of faith each day, even if they are small but they are steady. It is when you dare to say, "I believe you," on the days when your heart is full of questions. It is when you choose to forgive those who hurt you, to bow your head in prayer, rather than respond in anger, to embrace silence instead of rage. Each of these moments builds a life of true prosperity, a life that heaven sees and calls successful. And my child, I delight in the success of my children. I rejoice not only when you walk the right path, but when you do so with gratitude in your heart, with joy on your face, with an open spirit and hands ready to serve. I do not look for a flawless resume in you. I look for a faithful heart, a life that reflects love, a soul that places me above all else. When you live like this, you are living in prosperity, even if the world cannot recognize it. Heaven is celebrating, and I, your Father, am smiling. So, my beloved one, do not measure yourself by the world's standards. Do not be discouraged when you do not see immediate results that others boast of. Look back and see that you are still moving forward. You are still obeying, still believing, still remaining faithful, and that is what moves my heart. Let me be the one who defines your success. Let my gaze be the mirror you use to reflect your life. And believe this, if you live each day with sincerity and trust in me, you are living a life far more successful than anything you could have imagined. Because you are living with purpose, with faith, with love. And that is a prosperity no one can take from you. For it is sown from heaven, it grows through truth, and it bears fruit in the eternal presence of me, your God. My beloved child, in moments when hope seems like only a faint flicker amid a thick darkness, I call you to hold on to it, even if it is no bigger than a mustard seed. Do not despise that smallness, for in my hands a mustard seed can become a forest of faith. All I ask is that you do not let go. Just continue to hold it, protect it, and nourish it with my word, my living word, my powerful word, my word that never returns void. Let my word be the fresh water for your dry soul, the light that warms the places inside you that you thought were dead. And do not forget to praise, not only when it's easy, but especially when your heart is in turmoil, for praise in the dark is the voice of a faith that cannot be extinguished. Guard that seed from doubt, the quiet whispers in your mind that say you've waited too long, that good things will never come, that the dream you once carried was only a mirage. Those voices are not from me. They come to steal the most precious treasure within you, faith. But if you choose to stand firm, if you choose to believe what I have spoken, then that mustard seed will grow, it will sprout, it will flourish, and it will become a strong tree, not only for you, but to provide shelter for many others. That is what I am doing through you, not only giving you what you've hoped for, but making your life a place where others will find comfort and be reminded of the love of their Father. You have come too far to turn back now. This is not the time to stop or to give up. My child, breakthrough is near. The things I have prepared for you have not been canceled. My promises are never delayed. I am opening doors that no one can shut. The healing you have prayed for is on its way, not just a healing of the surface, but a deep, lasting healing where even the wounds you thought would never mend begin to restore. Do not stop believing. Do not stop praising. Do not stop walking in obedience, for that is the place where miracles begin. That is the path that leads to the revelation of my presence in your life. Even when you see no visible change, I am still moving. My angels are working in the shadows, in places you do not know, in circumstances you cannot control. They are clearing paths, removing obstacles, aligning every detail so that when the fullness of time arrives, you will step into what I have ordained. My spirit is stirring the hearts of others on your behalf. There will be arms that open to welcome you, words that are spoken on your behalf, doors that swing open which you could not have opened on your own except by one word, grace. I do not work through your haste, I work through my faithfulness, and I have never stopped working. But above all the promises and all the miracles, There is one truth you must etch deep into your heart. My love for you is unshakable. It does not depend on your mood. It does not fade with your moments of weakness. It is not limited by your failures or past mistakes. My love is always strong, always personal, always enduring. You are mine, and I will not let go. I will not hand you over to the world. I will not leave you to drift in the storm. You belong to me not because you are perfect, but because I have chosen you. I have loved you, and I have called you by name. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not a burden nor a delay. You are a testimony of my kindness and patience. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can snatch you out of my hand. No darkness, no sin, no circumstance, no person, no force. Because when I hold completely. When I love eternally. When I begin, I finish. So my child, continue to believe, not because you feel strong, but because I am faithful. Continue to praise, not because you've seen the miracle yet, but because you believe the miracle worker is near. Continue to obey, not because you know every next step, but because you trust I am leading you. And then you will see what you are waiting for is not just a reward, it is living proof that your Father's love is real, enduring, and eternal, with every day, every breath, every tear, every little hope you refuse to give up on. So, my beloved, stand firm. Hold tightly to that mustard seed, for the miracle is coming, and I, your Father, am still working. Amen. As a child of God, you are never alone, for He walks with you in every moment, constantly reminding you to live in faith and in the love He so faithfully gives. Follow and turn on notifications so you won't miss the words I speak from heaven. Amen.